Peace, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to Israel Doctrines Google Hangout. I'm your host, Carl Albert Davis, and you have now entered into our Hangout. And this week, this episode, we're talking about eschatology. In fact, the title of today's show is Fundamental Eschatology Explained Like Never Before, Shocking Revelations. So, I'm going to take y'all through elementary stuff and build you up into a comprehensive eschatology that you can deal with from foundation to the top of the mountain. So, as I'm speaking behind this eschatology scene, I'm going to get a PowerPoint or better yet a keynote up here to deal with this so we can all be on the same foundational platform. Nobody outrunning nobody, but I do have some things here written in the side chat that y'all might want to hear too before I get started. So it says, peace to the show. Anyone wish to, or I should have said, wish to ask a question? I'm not a reader. Truly, I'm not. I can read some, but I'm not a reader. So come into the show, please. The link is right there under that where you can come into the show and speak to me and I can understand and comprehend from what point of view you're coming from. And we could talk about it, but remember, we're not trying to run off from other people and stuff. It's very fundamental stuff. So please stay with the fundamentals, but you can go as far as you want to. If we don't deal with it today, I'll probably work it into the presentation tomorrow. It's a lot to talk about, though. So please forgive me. Let me begin. Eschatology, fundamentals, June 16, 2025. As you see on the screen now. Now, if I can get the keynote up, I like to deal with it. Oh, there it is right there. It's below me. That's why it ain't popping up. So I'm going to let the computer read. Because like I said, I'm not the reader. I wish I had a reader, but poop another one and see which one get the fullest.
This will be an overview of biblical chronology with an emphasis on understanding prophecy relating to the end time, soon future to us. We need to see in detail what the Bible records will happen in the end time generation, so we have the tools to comprehend what God says will occur in our contemporary historical environment.
So as you can see, somewhat fancy words, biblical chronology, understanding prophecy as it relates to end times, dealing with the biblical record, end time generation, comprehend what God will, occurring contemporary history events and stuff like that. I know it's some somewhat big words. I try sometime.
I will give you some observations on chronology and prophecy which to me seem certain. After I give you the chronological and prophetic overview, all of us can have in our hands some essential biblical factors to look for in world events in the next few years.
So, chronology and prophecy is what we're dealing with. And we can have our hands on some essential biblical factors to look for in the world events in the next few years and stuff. Because I know people that seen like the animals dying from the shock and different stuff, birds falling out the sky. People get afraid. I understand. I was afraid in 96. That's what made me go to the Bible. So we're going to take it and go right here to Daniel. And as it says,
one other tool that you could get from your files is my earlier information on biblical chronology.
biblical chronology. So we're going to be in Daniel 2, verse 1 through 5, 10 through 13, 24, 31 through 42, this and that. We're going to go through a whole host of Daniel 2 right quick. Let's deal with that. We're going to go up to 10 through 13. So we're going to let the Bible speak through the reading of the computer.
Daniel 2 1 minus 5 10 13 24 31 42 44 45. And in the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams, wherewith his spirit was troubled, and his sleep brake from him. 2. Then the king commanded to call the magicians, and the astrologers, and the sorcerers, and the Chaldeans, for to shew the king his dreams. So they came and stood before the king. 3. And the king said unto them, I have dreamed a dream, and my spirit was troubled to know the dream. 4. Then spake the Chaldeans to the king in Syriac, O king, live forever. Tell thy servants the dream, and we will shew the interpretation. 5. The king answered and said to the Chaldeans, The thing is gone from me. If ye will not make known unto me the dream, with the interpretation thereof, ye shall be cut in pieces, and your houses shall be made a dunghill. The Chaldeans answered before the king, and said, There is not a man upon the earth that can shew the king's matter. Therefore there is no king, lord, nor ruler, that asks such things at any magician, or astrologer, or Chaldean. 11. And it is a rare thing that.
So before we get to 10 and 11, so Nebuchadnezzar dreamed a dream, people. Within his spirit was troubled because of what he seen in his dream. But he couldn't remember his dream. So therefore, he went to his people that's been lying to him and doing it, the musicians, the astrologers, the soothsayers, all these magical people. And they couldn't tell him his dream because he woke up and couldn't remember his dream. So he couldn't tell them the dream so they can interpret it. And they couldn't tell him what he dreamed and interpret it. The twofold up. Let's get it back up on the screen. I don't know why I keep popping off, but we're going to try to keep it up there as much as we can. So now we're going to go back down to 11. 11 through 24.
And it is a rare thing that the king require it, and there is none other that can shew it before the king, except the gods, whose dwelling is not with flesh. 12. For this cause the king was angry and very furious, and commanded to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. 13. And the decree went forth that the wise men should be slain, and they sought Daniel and his fellows to be slain. Therefore Daniel went in unto Arioch, whom the king had ordained to destroy the wise men of Babylon. He went and said thus unto him, Destroy not the wise men of Babylon. Bring me in before the king, and I will shew unto the king the interpretation.
So you see, they set out a decree. Daniel was wise men, and the men of Judah was wise men, but they was the last to be consulted with. And so the decree went out to kill the wise men because they couldn't tell them. And Daniel like, uh-oh, what's going on? Tell me the matter. He said, take me to the king, and I interpret it for him. I'll tell him what he dreamed, and I will interpret the dream. It's a bad man. This is what a man of God is. He's a bad man. He can do what other people can't do. But we're going to keep moving on. Now, this is going to give us a chronology. What the dream is Nebuchadnezzar dreamed a dream about end time. So we got to listen to what Daniel was finna go say to Nebuchadnezzar. So this 31, to 45. We're going to cut it up some. We're going to go to 35 first.
31 Thou, O king, sawest, and behold a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. 32 This image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass. 33 His legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. 34 Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and brake them to pieces. 35 Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain, and filled the whole earth.
So that right there was what Nebuchadnezzar dreamed. Daniel told him his dream. He had an image. He had an image in that dream, and he told him about the image. He said, behold, a great image. That great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. It was terrible. You seen this terrible image, and you got afraid. Then it said, the image head was of gold. His breast and his arms was silver. Y'all see it on the thumbnail. That's the image on the thumbnail. That's why I put that image on the thumbnail. Let me see if I got that image anywhere else to show y'all. No, I don't have it. But we can get it up here. We can get it up here because I have it on my desktop. That image tells you what Nebuchadnezzar saw. And it tells you from the time of Nebuchadnezzar to the end of the world, as we know it. Because a stone was cut out without hand. That stone is the rock of Israel, the stone of Israel, aka Jesus the Christ. A lot of people don't want to accept it, but that's it right there. Information on biblical chronology, eschatology. So the head, see, the head is gold. The arms, the breastplate and the belly, then the legs and the feet and the stone hidden the image on the bottom of the foot. Well, that's Jesus coming out from heaven. You know, the old sky, the pie in the sky, bye dude, is he coming back or whatever? You see the image. Now you see what Nebuchadnezzar saw. Now you know how the world gonna end. Do you have any comprehension of it? I don't know, but you have been told exactly what's going to take place and how the world going to end. Jesus, who was cut out without hand and stuff, is that stone. He's the God of Israel. He's going to come back and he's going to destroy the image by hitting it on the bottom of the feet. Just like you see in the picture. And whole Gentile dynasty is going to disappear off this planet. How you doing, Queen? So that's where we at, people. Remember, this is fundamental eschatology. You got to learn some things. So when the things get deeper, you got a foundation of things that when someone said, you can say, oh, I remember it spoke on that. It said that. So that's the just of the matter, though. Jesus gonna come back and hit that image on the bottom of the feet. And then he gonna spread throughout the world to every man, woman, and child, voice, language, creed, culture, everything. He gonna deal with everybody, be it good or bad, according to your works, as we spoke about on the Sabbath day. Now, you have the just of the whole matter. You can believe it or not believe it. Or, like I said up here, you can come in the room, hit the link at the bottom, come in the room, talk to me on some very foundational stuff. We ain't got to get big headed and think we know everything. We travel together. So let's get the keynote back up, because I want to show it some more so we can get some more in-depth stuff. We're going to 36 now.
This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. 37 Thou, O king, art a king of kings, for the God of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. 38 And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven hath he given into thine hand, and hath made thee rule.
Oh, king, he talking to Nebuchadnezzar. You had this dream, and God said, whatever man lay his head or whatever he do, you got power over. He done made you a king of kings, when he is the king of kings, meaning he's Nebuchadnezzar and other people king. But God set up kings in this world. And he's telling this one that had to go. He's saying, wherever man dwell, you have rulership over him. And to this day, Nebuchadnezzar and his children still have rulership over man. Yeah, people telling you what to do today, and you know who they the descendants of? Nebuchadnezzar. They are part of this Gentile dynasty. This dynasty can be an image or it can be beast. We're going to deal with the beast tomorrow, and you're going to see how it play out. And once again, you're going to get the 4 last dynasties. The head of gold, the chest, the silver, the brass, and the miry clay and all of that. You're going to get every dynasty. That last dynasty is the Roman Empire. That's why I can say with a certainty, we in the end times, because we in the Roman Empire. You can say we not, but we know that Rome that took over and Greece is no longer running it. We know Alexander is dead and his 4 generals, and they been in Egypt and all the spots they've been in. This is world history also, but it's Bible history. This is how I prove that God exists. This is how the Bible proved to me that God existed. He called this stuff to a T, to the point you can't miss it. If you miss it, it's because he done blind you and you can't see it now. Well, I don't know what prophecy. I don't understand it all, because you don't want to understand it, and the Lord ain't gonna allow you to understand it. But I'm going to lay it out before you so you can see it. You would never be able to say, well, I've never heard nobody say it or show it before. Yes, this is to all the full preterists, partial preterists, whatever type of preterist, or whatever you deal with. Me, I'm a partial preterist, and I believe all things have not been fulfilled. But if one want to have a conversation, you're welcome to come to the room and we could have a conversation about things. But remember, we're not speedballing through this. So now let's pick it up at 39. So he told Nebuchadnezzar, you that head of gold, man. This is about you and your people.
39 And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another 3rd kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. 40 And the 4th kingdom shall be strong as iron, forasmuch as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdueth all things. And as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. 41 And the decree went forth that the wise men should be slain, and they sought Daniel and his fellows to be slain. 42 And as the toes of the feet were part of iron, and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong, and partly broken. 44 And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom, which shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
See, this is what I have a problem with full predators. They said everything has been fulfilled. Well, what Jesus said, where his kingdom at? All this molesting babies and doing all this and killing people and all this stuff going on. Jesus here? I can't believe that. I think Jesus got all power. He can put down any rule of power, anything that ain't right. What would he be here allowing this stuff to go on? That's blasphemous to me. Like I said when I debated predator before, man, we might as well throw this book away and burn it. It's full of lies. It's full of BS. I can't follow no lies and BS. I'm not that type of man. But if you want to believe that, to hell you go. And I'm not using profanity. I'm just speaking on it the way I'm speaking on it. I'm going to try to be profanity free. So, it said, and as the toes of the feet were part iron and part clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom. We in the days of them kings, people. And someday soon, the God of heaven gonna come set his kingdom here on earth. And if he don't do it, he'll lie. And I have not known him to lie yet. Are we together? Can we all agree? Sister, you listening? You with me? I guess she walked away. We agree, Ryan?
I'm here, brother.
All right, I'm trying to see if we can all agree.
I don't even understand what you're saying.
I'm reading the Bible.
Oh.
And it said, during these kings, the God of heaven gonna set up a kingdom. We agree with that? Yeah, I do.
Yes, that's an agreement. Yes, he's going to set up a kingdom. Yes.
So we didn't got the full story, people. That's eschatology 101 right there. Nebuchadnezzar dreamed a dream. It told him about 4 different dynasties. Nebuchadnezzar, which is Babylon. Then you had the Medes and the Persians. You can go into regular history and see this. Then the Greeks. Then the Romans. And the Romans Empire not over yet because the God of heaven then came and set a kingdom up in the midst of them. We agree, Ryan? What's that brother's name?
Who?
I'm trying to talk to the people in the chat, but I'm just trying to see if we can all agree, because we growing. If we could agree on something.
Nobody was in the chat. Oh, there go Ryan. Okay.
So we agree, people. I'm waiting for a yes or no. Y'all ain't in the room, but you can type. But I guess we have to look over them and keep going. Teaching never stops, so let's keep teaching the fundamentals. You heard the whole eschatology right there, right? So now we're going to go to 45, and then we're going to get up out of this day.
45 Forasmuch as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it brake in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure.
So that's Daniel 2. And you see the verses 1 through 5, 10 through 13, 24 through 24, 31 through 42, 44 through 45. He told them the dream, and then he gave them the interpretation. And remember, he was going to kill everybody because no one could do that. But Daniel got it from God. And he said, hey, this ain't no big thing that I can do this. But the God of heaven has shown me this so I can let you know what's about to happen. And let the world know, and anybody that reads this should be able to understand this and comprehend it. People, that stuff hard to read. That stuff hard. No, it ain't. You just heard the whole story. You either agree or disagree to the story. So now we're going to deal with some notes about the story. We just heard the interpretation, everything. Right? So listen well, people.
Notes. Stone equals Jesus' mountain equals government. The image is a representation of the Gentile European dynasty. God gave all three sons of Noah a time to rule. The first was Ham's children, beginning with Nimrod. The second was Shem's children, King Saul, King David, King Solomon, etc. The third is Japheth's children, beginning with King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon down to the EU, European Union aka THETN. We are currently living under the rule of Japheth's children, who are Gentiles, whites. These kings equals from Nebuchadnezzar to the European Union, the 10 toes, which are the Western European Union, WEU.
So now that ain't Bible. That's interpretation. You can take it or leave it. But the European Common Market, the WEU, which is the Western European Union, is, you can even see they images and stuff that they use, is them 10 toes. It just ain't got down to the 10 toes yet. It's other people a part of the Western European Common Market Union. But when they get down to them 10 toes, them 10, oh yeah, it's going down. And when they get down to them 10 toes, they're going to build a temple. It's going to be time for the resurrection and all this stuff to happen. So we just going on some basic notes today. Like I said, we'll deal with the more to know tomorrow, because this is day by day learning this, and then we'll move on and learn some more stuff.
Notes. Beast with 7 heads and 10 horns equals the Gentile dynasty and its resurrections. Dragon equals Satan. The devil, the Roman head, was wounded in 476 AD with the fall of Rome. 42 months equals 3½ years. The world will wander after the beast through religion, Holy Roman Empire.
See, there go the Holy Roman Empire. When see you talk about it today, most people love the Roman Empire. They love the Roman holidays. They love the Roman this and that. And all roads lead to Rome but Jerusalem. One, the straight and narrow leads to Jerusalem. Every other road leads to Rome. Or these European empires, which the people that call themselves Hebrew Israelites, because they ignorant, they love to Hellenize this and the Hellenize that and everything. So we're going to move on a little further. Like I said, this is learning something on your way to learning the big stuff. The grand scheme. You heard it, though, in Daniel 2.
The 4 beasts, rulers of the Gentile dynasty. 1 Babylon, Iraq, head of gold, lion. 2 Medo Persia, Russia and Iran, breasts and arms of silver, bear. 3 Greek, Greece, belly and thighs of brass, leopard. 4 Roman, Rome, legs of iron and toes of iron and clay, terrible. The first, old, Roman Empire, deadly wound equals fall of the Roman Empire in 4768 Today, the lion with eagle's wings is the United Kingdom and America. The revived Roman Empire is the European Union called the TN. Deadly wound healed equals resurrected Roman Empire. headed by the beast and the false prophet.
So you just got an interpretation of what it is. You can believe it or not. You got it though. Look at it. So future reference, you can reference that because full preterists like to put Israel in these four Gentile dynasties: Nebuchadnezzar, Medes and the Persians, the Greeks and the Romans. You seen the image. What was Israel in the image? In the Nebuchadnezzar dream or whatever, where it said it's not in there because people been messing up prophecy. They're false prophets. But we're going to go through all of this. I see nobody want to step in the room and talk about it. So y'all see this, the last slide.
The vast majority of Christians believe that death is not the end of life. This is true. Both the Old Testament and the New Testament teach in the clearest of terms that there will be life after death. Yet, strange as it may seem, almost 90% of Christian believers do not believe what the Holy Scriptures teach when they show how this return to life will be accomplished. Most have their own beliefs that are independent of what the Bible says, and they are wrong. When is the rapture going to occur in relation to the tribulation? Pre-tribulation. Post-tribulation.
So we're going to speak about that a little bit tomorrow. I'm going to put some more slides on this keynote, and we're going to talk about the resurrection of the dead, not people coming from heaven. People are in the dust of the ground where the Lord said they will be resting until he come back. A lot of people don't believe that. But that is what most Christians call the rapture. You see it a lot in end time movies, the planes and people driving cars, and soon somebody up out of it. They'd have been resurrected. They'd have been raptured off. Some people say you get raptured off to heaven. You're going to get raptured off to the second heaven, and then you're going to come back to the Mount of Olives with the Lord because he's coming down from the third heaven. We're going to see all this as we go further in the conversation. Hopefully, y'all can lend y'all voices to the graduation of knowledge. Things y'all done heard, things y'all done seen, and bring it to the table. As I said once again, I'm not a reader, so I would like to hear it from your mouth, your voice. Your voice is life. It's life-giving. So one is always welcome to come in the room or even put it in the side chat, whichever one you're comfortable with. But this is a study of end times, eschatology. You just seen the whole story in Daniel 2. You believe that or not? I see people still afraid to say the whole story was told. Nebuchadnezzar, the Medes and the Persians, the Greeks, the Romans. During the Romans, the Lord God of Israel gonna set up a kingdom right here on earth, right here on this heaven, the first heaven. And when he does that, then the world is coming to an end. Y'all ain't seen that yet. If y'all ain't seen that, go get in the history book, show it to me, and tell me I'm a lie, and I eat it if I'm a lie. But I don't think I'm a lie. But I welcome anybody that think they know better, can do better, and show better. Because you have to show during the Roman Empire that the God of heaven has set up a kingdom here on earth and allowing all this wickedness and stuff to go on in this earth while he here and is supposed to be able to control it all. But 35 minutes, people. It's about to be a show because people are afraid to come in the room and share a little bit with us. So let me see. No, I can't play that. All right, people, that's the show. We will be back tomorrow with more information. More information to build up on the information that we laid down today. We're going to deal more with the beasts, the four beasts, the lion, the bear, and all of that tomorrow. You see them right here on the keynote. I don't know if y'all know it or not. But yes, it was right here on the keynote. We're going to get it back up there right quick. See the lion, the bear, the leopard, the terrible beast that couldn't be named. Ain't no beast in this world like it. Yes, we'll deal with that tomorrow. All are welcome. With that said, peace.
Throughout history, several historical groups and civilizations have been documented as having connections to ancient Israelite heritage while being of African descent. Here are some notable examples. The Beta Israel, Ethiopian Jews, a Jewish community that lived in Ethiopia for centuries. The Lemba people of southern Africa, who maintain traditions and practices similar to Jewish customs. Various communities in West Africa that have maintained traditions and practices that scholars have linked to ancient Israelite customs. It's important to note that this topic involves complex historical, genetic, and cultural evidence that continues to be studied by scholars and researchers.